any hockey player probably in Canada, you start with your father or I have two older brothers, so I'm pretty sure at some young age I picked up a stick and tried to play with them. I think my parents told me they put me on skates around 2.5. But as you know, as being the third in my family, they just pick you up and take you wherever you have to go. So, obviously it's mom and dad that takes you and puts you everywhere. I think the first time I got to play hockey I was 4 years old on my first team, and probably had a lot of tears getting on and off the ice, but thankfully we stuck with it, and quite a few years later we had to retire from it. So it was a good transition. But I think the two older brothers are obviously a key for any young hockey players, get to try to keep up with them, and always made me earn everything I got. If that was coming out on the rink with them and playing with their friends, and if they stuck me in net, then I had to figure it out. And if I had to play defense, then I had to come out there and figure it out. So that's one great learning lesson that just organically happened, that I look back on my career, and part of my professional job now is development. And you can see that those attributes helped me through juniors and helped me through college, and definitely helped me in the pros when things weren't as easy as maybe different steps of my life. I thought it was, extremely odd that year of being in Saskatchewan, or being in Anaheim, playing with so many guys from Saskatchewan. Me and Ryan grew up in the same city, but we're so many years apart that we just never crossed paths. I leave home at 16 and he's, I think, only 10 years old. So, the chances of you meeting up down the road is just happenstance. Maybe that was a quality in the general managers and the people that picked the team. They wanted something that they saw in people from Saskatchewan, and kind of how we played the game. I know the resiliency of playing in the SHHL and some of the grittiness that you need to do that is something that I brought into my game. I wasn't exclusively very tough at some of those fights, but it built into this team toughness that our team really had in Anaheim. And a guy like Travis Moen really wore that on his sleeve, and you could follow that for everybody. And Ryan, obviously him going in this year too, is his character and his ability to do whatever's needed in that big moment. He's somebody who was always shined through. So we all had different roles on that team, but it was a lot of fun to maybe make one inner circle within that team that we all are from Saskatchewan and all brought it back. I think once you get out into the actual hockey universe, there is a quality from people from Western Canada, and let alone Saskatchewan, that have a little edge on their shoulder. They might not look like the best skaters, but they'll do everything to help their team win. And I think that was a quality that we got taught at his early age, growing up, that it was team first and do whatever it takes to win. And every, SJHL to even midget AAA, that was something that the coaches kind of embedded in you. And maybe it was the way the uncles and dads all talked about the game and how they fell in love with the game, and that's how they taught us to play. But it's definitely something that was always needed on maybe Stanley Cup winning teams. I think there's always a little relief for me. I was later in my career. I wasn't a guy who was on Hockey Canada's awareness board. I wasn't drafted. I didn't play World Juniors. So for me, it really was a once-in-a-life opportunity. The scrutiny of being selected, I think, was maybe one of the hardest things I went through, of listening to the media talk back and forth of how you should make the team, or maybe you shouldn't make the team, or, then having those conversations with your parents or your family about, what they're saying and is it true, and so I think the scrutiny of making it was one thing, and it was relief to finally make the team. But I also remember being there and wanting to make sure I wasn't the reason why the team didn't win. Obviously everybody expects Canada to win gold every time they step on the ice. And so that's kind of how I remember playing over in Russia is, go out there for that 35 seconds, do whatever you can and get off, because there's somebody better going over the boards the next time. And so I think finally when that buzzer went off against Sweden at the end of it, it was a huge relief, but obviously a once-in-a-life opportunity for me to partake in the glory of Canadian hockey and go down as an Olympic gold medalist is something that could never have dreamed of, but actually got to happen.
Chris Kunitz's journey from an undrafted prospect to one of the most decorated players in Saskatchewan hockey history is a testament to his perseverance, skill, and championship pedigree. Born and raised in Regina, Kunitz developed his game at the grassroots level in the Queen City before reaching the pinnacle of the sport multiple times. Kunitz moved to play for the Yorkton Maulers in the Saskatchewan Male Under-18 AAA Hockey League during the 1996-97 season. Demonstrating an early knack for offense, he recorded 55 points in 43 games. He then progressed to the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, where he played 2 seasons, 1997-99, with the Melville Millionaires. His scoring ability flourished in his second year, as he notched an impressive 57 goals and 89 points in 63 games. Despite his offensive prowess, Kunitz was overlooked in the NHL draft and took the collegiate route, joining Ferris State University in the National Collegiate Athletic Association. Over 4 years, from 1999 to 2003, he became one of the top players in college hockey at the time. Kunitz finally signed with the Anaheim Mighty Ducks in 2003. His early professional years were spent between the NHL and the American Hockey League. But by 2006-2007, he had cemented his place in the Anaheim Ducks lineup. That season, he played a key role in Anaheim's first Stanley Cup victory, alongside future SHHOF inductees Ryan Getzlaf and Travis Moen. In 2009, Kunitz was traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins, where he became an integral part of the team's core. Later that year, he won his second Stanley Cup as Pittsburgh defeated the Detroit Red Wings in a thrilling 7-game series. In 2016, he helped the Penguins reclaim the Stanley Cup, followed by another championship title in 2017, making him a 4-time champion. After finishing his NHL career with stints in Tampa Bay and Chicago, Kunitz retired in 2019 with 295 goals and 712 points in 1,200 games. On the international stage, Kunitz was selected to represent Team Canada at the 2014 Sochi Olympics, playing alongside his nation's best, including future SHHOF inductees Ryan Getzlaf and Patrick Marleau. He contributed to Canada's memorable gold medal-winning performance. With 4 Stanley Cups and an Olympic gold medal, Kunitz stands at 6 foot even and among one of the most decorated players in Saskatchewan hockey history. His induction into the Saskatchewan Hall of Fame is a fitting tribute to a career defined by resilience, leadership, and championship success.